Hello, I am your host, Kathy Chester, and welcome to the Move It or Lose It podcast, a podcast about all things that move the mind, body, and soul. The Move It or Lose It podcast is for information, awareness, and inspirational purposes only. I am not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV, so please consult your doctor before making any medical decisions. The views expressed by advertisers, guests, or contributors are their opinions and not necessarily the views of the Move It or Lose It podcast. Introducing the Pulse device, cutting edge wearable device, revolutionary wellness designed to stimulate circulation, reduce harsh pain and tightness, and speed up recovery. The Pulse device uses advanced vibrotactile technology trusted by patients, clinicians, and wellness professionals. Whether you're recovering from an injury, battling a neural condition, or just want to feel the best every day, Pulse helps you recharge so that you can live and feel better. Lightweight, powerful, and easy to use. Experience better performance, better recovery, and a better you. Order now and save $30 using my code MSDisrupted at pulsedevice.com. The Pulse device is your health recharged. You won't be disappointed. Get it now for yourself. I have it. I love it. Go ahead and grab it. Hello, welcome to another episode of Move It or Lose It. So, if you know me and you know Julie Stamm, you'll know that we are very close. And so it's so fun to have you, Julie.
I'm so happy to be here and just see your face because we text and stuff, but it's
Right,
nice to see you.
right. It's
I
it's
wish it was
so
in
good.
person.
I know soon I'll be in Colorado and we will
I
be and
can't
you'll be
wait.
here.
I know.
So
I can't wait.
we'll get to love on each other. But it is, I think back to when we met finally. And Julie's, we're gonna have a little bit of this when we air the podcast. Julie thought I was gonna be short like Judge Judy,
Very. Yeah.
which is funny because I'm like 5'9". So
Gigantic. Well, like it felt you felt so much bigger because we're always talking sitting down, but I felt like I know you so well. And then when you were
yeah,
driving, I was like, what in that? Like, not at all what I expected.
that's funny. And you were so tiny. I was like, I don't know why, what I expected, but you were just so tiny. And
I mean,
um,
I'm 5'7". I'm not like
yeah,
short,
yeah.
but
But
yeah.
you're thin and you're tiny, and I didn't think you were fat, but
No.
you just don't
And when I
know until
stand
you
up,
see
I
the
do have a big
person.
butt.
Well, my butt's gone. So I thought Caitlin's like, Mom, you got I'm like, I can't do any more squats. The butt's
Right.
just if I keep
Yeah.
going from like a size 2 to, these weird sizes, it's hard to keep a butt. So
No, not for me. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the problem.
MS is so fun. So Julie, we met a long time ago. I think because now I think that like, oh, I met you last year, but really it was like 5 years ago or
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed because the first book that you wrote, because my kids were older, and I thought, ah, man, that I supported that wholeheartedly and just would have loved that for when my kids were younger. And there was really nothing like that. We didn't do that. We were so terrified of losing our kids that
Right.
we didn't share a lot about that. And we didn't really know what to tell our kids because we didn't know. We didn't
Yeah.
understand what we had. So it was hard to communicate that to family. Um, in any way, it's still hard, but to communicate, where are you in pain? I don't know how to explain that. And why are you I don't know how to explain that. I just know something's wrong. And when the symptoms are invisible, it's like, I play this with my clients. They're like, okay, I'll give you my brain if you give me your legs. So,
Yeah.
it's a tough one, right? Because we know that MS obviously attacks our entire central nervous system. So it kind of can do whatever it wants, right? With our talking, with
Yeah.
our legs, arms, cognitively, it can really mess with us. We know now that part of MS is depression. That's part of the disease. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I'm starting to have depression. No,
Exactly.
that's part of MS. And so talk to me a little bit about that in writing the second book and how you felt through the years and how depression and stuff affected you.
I would say more than depression, anxiety has been like a
Yeah.
big driver in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is, and I couldn't really. I still don't know how to properly get that under control.
Yeah.
I think,
That's a tough
um,
one, I
it
believe,
really
Julie.
is, and, like, certain medications make you feel worse, and people
Right.
I remember one medication, I was like, I lost empathy,
Yeah.
and I pride myself in being a very
Oh,
empathetic person, like,
well, that's so weird. I didn't even know that because you are one of the most empathetic. I think that's why we click so well.
yeah,
You're so empathetic. So, gosh,
I
what
know.
medication was that?
I hadn't cried for 6 months, and I'm a
Whoa.
crier. I
Yeah.
literally cry every day, like, in a
Wow.
happy way, a sad way,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I hadn't cried for 6 months, and I was like, "I don't know that it's worth,
Right. Losing
um,
yourself.
losing." I mean, I wasn't worried, but I
Right.
didn't
Right.
feel. I didn't
Yeah.
care. I just didn't
Right.
I didn't care, and that's
Right.
and so I was like, "Maybe I'd rather be an emotional nightmare," and the people that
Right.
can handle that are worth
Yeah.
it. You know.
Absolutely. I That's what I've learned, I'll tell you 100% this last year is that, I took that year off of for everything and just needed to be alone, needed to realize why do I attract these people that take, and you understand because we have that same personality.
Yeah,
But then if I need something, it's like they're like, I don't really have time for that. And that's
right.
not a friendship. And so really taking that time to really learn more about me, what we're never done with that, right? We think like there's
No,
got to be a done time that we've learned stuff.
I
But it's
know.
like, what about me attracts that? And so I think that's really wise. And you do a really good job at kind of
Yeah.
focusing in and listening and looking at, okay, this medicine is not worth it. I mean, just
It's
not me
not.
myself.
And that I tried a lot of different medicines. It's not like I tried one would make
Yeah.
me dizzy, one would make me, have a really upset stomach, one would
Right.
make me feel like I had no feelings at all. And I
Right.
just couldn't find what was right for me. Um, and, I'm sure everyone in the world could benefit from therapy. I don't think our medical system makes it easy to get therapy.
Yeah. So
So
important.
it is. I mean, I haven't even done like I tried it and I didn't find one that worked for me. And then
Okay.
I'm like, I'm done. I can't figure it out because it's not easy. It's just
Yeah.
like finding another doctor.
Yeah.
It's a smaller pool.
Oh
And
gosh, yeah.
and
And to
then
find a neuro, you know,
right,
I mean, I'm so grateful. I haven't had the best luck with a lot of my doctors, but I'm telling you what, Julie, if I got blessed by one thing, it was the fact that I have an amazing cognitive therapist. And to the point where he can switch it off. Like with this last year and it being difficult, he could switch hats and we could go more into my life, like making it. And I just so appreciate his wisdom and so
awesome.
that's so important, and you're 100% right, it's so difficult. I'll have clients that have been looking forever, and they'll find one that maybe doesn't know anything about what we're going through, doesn't have a clue about MS.
Right.
So and I'm sure you found or they'll say things like, "Don't worry about that," and you're like,
Yeah.
"No, that's not
Yeah.
correct." Like,
Yeah.
that's
You
not
can't just turn it off. You can't just turn off the worry.
right,
And
right.
honestly, like, I think, I'm 19 years in with MS, my worries have changed,
Yeah,
and it's so wildly different, and then sometimes I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank God it's not dementia, thank God it's not
right,
ALS, thank God it's not blah,
right,
blah," like, all these different things that it could be,
right.
um,
It's so funny, our female bodies and
yeah,
everything changes all the time. As we age, it just changes.
right, and, like, you think it's the worst thing I did, I thought it was, like, the worst thing, and now I'm like, "Well, I'm 19 years in, I'm a mom, I
Mhm.
have a husband, I have a house, I have, everything
Right.
it could be worse, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not
Yeah.
negating it, it fucking
Right.
sucks, like,
Yeah.
I'm not negating that, and
Right.
it's a challenge
No, for
every
sure.
single minute of every day,
Yes,
as I
100%.
use my arm to cross my legs, and it's driving
Right,
me
right.
and my dog comes in,
Right.
um,
Mhm.
but, I I don't know, it's hard to I don't have the answers, but I do
Yeah.
try, in my social media just to show the
Yeah.
whole spectrum of the disease and how, like, life still happens,
Yeah.
how that does impact the disease because,
Yeah.
unfortunately, like, it's not only just the disease, it's
Right.
everything that your stress,
Yeah.
everything really contributes
Sleep.
to your progression, your hormones,
Yeah.
like, there's so many
Yes.
things, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, my check engine light's on, and I have to figure
Yeah.
this out now,"
For sure. And it's like some days, you wake up and you've used 5 spoons and it's 9
Yep.
AM. You're like,
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm gonna do today because I am
don't even
no
know.
spoons and I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
And you've always been so completely honest in any panel and any social media thing, any talks you've given. You are always what I love the most about you is your honesty and your just being very authentic about um, about everything, your relationship before you got married, after getting married,
yeah,
um, and just the closeness that you guys have. I love the fact that there's so much joking because you really give, I think, one of the best things is if we don't learn to laugh with this shitty disease, then we're
my
really screwed because
yeah, that's all
it
we did,
can't
yeah,
be serious all the time because it is so dragging. And so just there can be that despair. There can be,
yeah,
I think we grieve throughout, we've talked about this before, throughout the years, we grieve differently as we age. We grieve
yeah,
differently even with my clients and their movement, depending as we age, the movement is different. And,
yeah,
explain that over and over. This is not, we're not that age. We're not going to do burpees. We're not going to do that
mhm,
today. We're going to do soft movement that helps
yeah,
us for our daily life. And that
yeah.
changes.
I
So
literally have an alarm on my phone that says "Move it or lose it" because of you. I swear to
I
God,
love
it's
that.
every single day because I have to do 20 minutes of
Yeah.
something. I don't
Oh,
care
I
if
love that.
it's every single day, and I
Yeah.
cannot dismiss. I'm a weird person about I can't have too many like numbers that I haven't checked off.
Yeah.
So I can't take it off until I do something. But I do
That's
every
awesome.
single day I have to do 20 minutes, whether
Oh,
it be like
thank you.
laundry or vacuum or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Go for a walk, do
I
I mean,
love that.
burpees. But it's
Yay.
because of you. It's my
Thank you.
reminder.
I really love that, and I think it's so enlightening. It's so good for people to understand that that movement has to have, but doesn't have to be the same.
Yeah.
That's why I so love being able to do it on my own and just talk to someone and say, like I'm looking at you, and if it was a bad day, say, you know what, the things we have planned out the door. We're going to
Yep.
do this because this is what you need.
Yeah.
So as you like going back to the stuff, you wrote the books and then you had a lot of people just absolutely love them. You had like great response to that. I mean, and it really changed things for you. Started doing some things, some big advocating for MS. Um, and then tell me how the stress of that, of the advocating and doing things versus doing things just as a family. Are you really enjoying the advocating? How much has do you feel like that takes from you energy wise?
It's evolved because I think when I was first diagnosed before my son was born, I was like, I can't just take this lying down. I have to find other people and I have to like show that you're going to get through this. And it was
Right,
just my mission. I'm going to do it. And then when my son was born, I was like, okay, I need to explain this to him. I'm going to be honest with him, in
right.
an age appropriate way. So I wrote the book and then I became an advocate for children. And
Yeah,
that I would say is the easiest part of advocating because
yeah.
honestly, it gives you more spoons. Like,
Right.
when you're talking to children and just seeing their
Oh
beautiful,
yeah.
unbiased minds come up with all these brilliant
Yeah.
ideas, and then they're like, "I want MS." I'm like, "Oh, I made it look too
Yeah.
fun." You're like, "You don't,
Yeah.
you don't, you don't. I made it look
I
too fun."
love that you do that. How often do you do that?
It really depends. Like, I've slowed down this year, so
Yeah.
but, I enjoy it, and I love that
Yeah.
children understand MS, and
Yeah.
I love it, but,
Yeah.
then my mom was diagnosed with frontal temporal dementia,
Right.
um,
Right.
and so I became her caregiver,
Mhm.
and that's a term that I don't take lightly because I consider
Right.
him my care partner. He
Yeah.
doesn't he's not my caregiver, but he's a part of
Right.
the journey with me, and being
Exactly.
a caregiver is a very, 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 very different role,
Yeah.
that I can't negate how much it affects your life,
Yeah.
and your decisions and everything. So I kinda I was still doing my advocacy work, but I was trying to
Mhm.
advocate for my mom as much as
Sure.
possible.
Sure.
And, you can't do both. So you feel like
Exactly.
you're letting down one arena, and then, in
Yeah.
hindsight, I'm like, "Oh, I should have focused more on this," and
Right.
it's so easy to just constantly beat ourselves up about making
Yeah.
bad
Oh gosh,
choices
yeah.
nonstop,
We just do that. I think it's a female thing more than
and
anything is why do we do I can remember the kids being little and I don't remember an evening that I didn't, lie in bed and think, "I could have done
Yeah,
this better. I should have said this."
every night,
And we
yeah,
do that to ourselves. We just beat ourselves up. And
I know,
no matter how you would have advocated, it would have been, well, I didn't do this. I should have done that.
right,
And it's so easy to do, but you had to take, I mean, your mom passed away this last year.
yeah, 2
And
months ago.
yeah. And so talk a little bit about that. And you were a caregiver. And then all of a sudden, you know it's going to eventually happen. But it's like,
Yeah.
when are you ever ready?
I thought I knew what grief was, and I've written articles on MS.
Mhm.
Ugh, I'm sad about it. Ugh.
It's okay. It's,
Um,
you can do anything.
uh, and I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a different grief. It's a
Yeah.
different heartache. Um, and there's so
Yeah.
much guilt, even
Yeah.
when you know it's,
Oh, Julie, I want to hug
yeah.
you. I want to come in and hug you. I'm
It'll
so
pass.
sorry.
It's still very raw.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Gosh. I think the
so
first year, do you feel more, I'm gonna try to do this without crying. Do you feel more numb, or do you feel like it kind of varies? Like some days it's numb and some days it's just very
no,
emotional.
I wish I was numb. I wish I could turn it off. I can't.
Yeah.
Not
No.
yet.
No, and
I
that's
would,
and
yeah.
that's okay. I mean, I
I
can't
look I
imagine.
look forward, we were talking about this, I've always especially like, I've always loved wine, it's a thing, I've always been a drinker, I would say even from when I was, like, 12,
Yeah.
um, it's just what we did in New York and
Right.
Brooklyn, we'd meet
Sure.
on corners,
Sure.
have our 40 ounces
Sure.
of oldie, and we would be it's just what we did, it was just how
Yeah.
we grew up with cigarettes and beer and,
Yeah.
oh, my tag name was back, like, it was so stupid, it
Right.
was just,
Right.
like, young, silly stuff,
I hear so
um,
much about that from New York, from New Yorkers. They're like, "Well,
oh
that's what we did." Like
that's
there
just what you
wasn't.
do. At 12 years old, you're drinking
Yeah.
and smoking,
Yeah.
um, and I think I've always, loved wine, and I've always loved drinking, and I love the feeling of
Yeah.
drinking. I love the feeling of being buzzed. I loved
Yeah.
that. I didn't like when
Yeah.
I got too drunk, but that happened a lot, uh,
Yeah.
and, I decided in August of last
Mhm.
year to give up red wine, which was
Yeah.
my biggest vice because I was having not only 1 bottle, probably 1.5,
Right.
2 bottles, fully functioning. You'd be able
Yeah.
to not even think that I had a bottle of wine because I was so
Right.
used to drinking it. I'm very grateful that I would say I don't think my son ever really noticed because it was just I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for that, and I think, I was playing and I was still having fun and being a fun mom,
Yeah.
none of which I'm proud of that I was drinking in front of him and
No, but
all
when he's
things.
older, that'll mean so much to him that
Yeah,
you went through that. And that's one of the big things that we're going to talk about today, but that you went through it and and you had the control and the whereabout to understand that this can't happen anymore.
yeah,
What's
and I
going
think,
on
like,
can't.
as my mom was declining, I was drinking more, and I
Yeah.
noticed, like, when I would go out to eat with my mom, even if it was, like, 3 in the afternoon, I'd be like, "I need to have a couple of glasses of wine to get through this," because I was so
Right.
stressed out,
Right.
getting so annoyed at someone that couldn't control,
Yeah.
like, what's going on with her, but I was
Right.
like, "If I have a glass of wine, this won't be as
Yeah.
annoying,"
It'll feel better.
like, it'll feel
Sure.
better. Um, and I'm not proud of that either. There's
Yeah,
many
but
things for
Julie, I
that,
think the most beautiful thing is that you came out and talked about it. And so few people honestly do that. The idea that you're going to admit something when so many people look to you, and you don't know their response is going to be, and you're admitting something that is very difficult but is huge, not just in
Yeah.
America but all over. And it's something that affects so many families. And I was so proud of you, and I was so grateful that you did that. And I was just like, of course she would, because that's her. And
Well, 'cause I don't think I'm alone, and I know, like,
no.
I wasn't drinking alone, you know?
Yeah.
I
Right.
it I've never been, like, a drink aloner person,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but,
What was
you
the
know,
response when you shared that?
I was really surprised at how many people were struggling with a similar, um,
Yeah.
not addiction, because I wouldn't say that I was an alcoholic, I mean, probably technically,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I still drink, I'm not fully sober, but I went from drinking every single night of the week to, "Hey, it's 2 weeks and I'll have a beer."
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is very, very different than, and that's like a social, "Hey, I'm going to
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
I'm gonna meet them at a bar and have a beer, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, fine."
Yeah.
And that
Now,
one
did you
beer
have
will last.
alcoholism in your family?
You know, my dad drank when he was younger, and
Okay.
he gave it up probably similar way to the way I did, like, just
Okay.
decided, I don't want, I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with my dad in my house, so I don't remember
Okay.
seeing him as, like, a
Gotcha.
drinker, but
Right.
apparently, you know, um, yeah, so he he gave it up, I gave it and, it started as I'm just gonna give up wine and red wine, and then it was like, "Meh, I don't need white wine," and then I was like, "I don't need this," and,
Yeah.
it's and now people are like, "You're gonna feel so much more energy, you're gonna sleep better, your anxiety is gonna be better." You're gonna lose weight. None of these things have come to fruition for me because I'm probably eating Oreos way too much and all these cookies
Sugar.
that
Yeah.
um, but I think the pride that I have for doing it is there,
Yeah.
and there's no like, same with cigarettes. I loved
Yeah.
cigarettes. I was a over a pack a day smoker, and then I was like, "This is gross. It's not good for MS. I'm gonna quit." So I gave it up,
Right.
and this was, in 2007, so,
Right. Right.
and that's what wine is for me.
Yeah.
There's gonna be
Yeah.
no wine ever in my life again. I don't
Right.
That's
Yeah.
okay for me. It's just done. It's Prosecco, it's all that
Right.
champagne, all of that is out. I've
I'm so
decided that's
proud of
gonna
you
depart.
for
And
that. I'm
it
so
it's
proud of
not
you.
it sounds like a it doesn't sound like a big deal, but the way that I was using it,
Mhm.
the amount of pain that you know what it's like to have.
Yeah.
There's so much pain and anything to, like, stop the spasm
Yeah.
and the pain at night.
Right.
And MS
Yeah.
did wine did that. It
Yeah.
shut it
Oh,
down to
yeah.
the point where I would pass out, like, go to
Yeah.
bed, pass out, and then have a poor night's sleep, not
Yeah.
realizing,
Right. Right.
um, but I was able to sleep, and
Right.
that was the hardest adjustment,
Yeah.
not drinking,
Okay.
is sleep pain.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't wanna take Oxy, I don't wanna do,
Right. Right.
all these other things,
Right.
baclofen and all the it's just not appealing to me. So, it was an adjustment, I don't know how many months it is, I stopped counting because it doesn't it's a part of me that
Right.
I don't hold with pride, but I'm proud that my son can drink out of my glass now without asking what's in it. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
I
so
don't know if
yeah,
that makes sense,
absolutely.
like,
And I think that the thing is, Julie, is the importance of this too is the fact that how you did it was so great and just so honest and vulnerable. But the idea that opening this up today really is on my heart to do because I think that we have so many people with brain injuries, whether it's MS, Parkinson's, um, rheumatoid, lupus, that were just in so much pain emotionally,
yeah,
physically, that it's like, okay, well, I'm not getting on more medicine. So I
yeah,
just need something. And that anxiousness, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh, there's wine. Oh, there's
yeah,
tequila. That helps.
mhm,
And so it's an easy thing. And I think it's embarrassing. You go to the doctors, what do they ask? How much alcohol do you have in the week? And so is
yeah,
anybody honest with that? Probably not.
no,
um, and I know that we have a lot of MSers that are don't drink at all. And I think,
yeah,
wow, I didn't drink with my kids the whole time they grew up because, I was in ministry and I didn't. I don't think I had my first glass of wine till I was maybe 30 something. But
wow,
I noticed for sure during COVID, it was like a game. And then it was
yeah,
like, oh, well, a bottle, we'll just tap into that and we'll drink more.
yeah.
And
And
then
I
I
wish I
think
could be that girl that could just have 1 glass and, like,
right,
sit at dinner and have that one. I'm not. And
right,
I had to be honest with myself and realize, like, I am not that
right.
girl.
Yeah,
I have 1 glass, I have to finish the bottle because it's not gonna
right,
taste as good the next day, and then, "Oh, no, I opened another one."
right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and I think it's so whether it's, an actual I think wine is the easiest,
yeah,
because it's like there and I think that opening this up for and I wanna do this more and more because I think the amount of pain that we have with an autoimmune disease, and like we talked about emotionally, we don't know what's going on in all of our lives, whether there's abuse, whether there's just the fatigue, the pain, but we
yeah,
do know that a lot of our people that are so close to us turn to either alcohol or other things even to help that pain. We've I have used cannabis for sleep, but
Mhm.
I get a lot of questions, and I know a lot of it is abused, and it's then, "Okay, well, this helped with sleep, so maybe throughout the day, I won't do this, and this, but I'll do edibles all day, or I'll
Right.
just smoke throughout the day." And so it becomes something that people get really sensitive about, as you know, because if you are an alcoholic or you are abusing a substance, the last thing you want to hear is somebody telling you, you really can't do that. You're like, F you. You're not in the
Yeah.
pain I'm in. You're not in my body. I'm going to do what I feel is helping.
Yeah, and I think I was not I think I was probably guilty of justifying it all the time,
Yeah.
like, anyone that would question it, I'd be like, "You have no idea what this is
Yeah.
like. You have no idea the fight or flight mode that I'm in right now and
Yeah.
the management of, like, my own
Right.
health, my mother's health, like, being a mo the mental juggling
Yeah.
and then just I knew, like, my MRIs were progressing, I'm caring for my mother. It just was so much. The weight
You
of it
overstimulated.
overstimulated, just running on empty, fight or flight mode, literally
Yeah.
falling over, not from being drunk, but looking like that. So then
Right.
I'm like, I
Right.
might as well be drunk then, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Like just all these things and just
Right.
so I did hear and I think of this a lot. No one ever worries about like what's in there. Like if you're worried about someone else, what they're drinking, you're really thinking about yourself. You don't want to be alone in it.
Interesting.
So,
That's
and I
very
think that's
interesting.
true because, like,
Yeah.
I don't care what someone else is drinking, but when I was drinking, I wanted everyone else around me to be drinking.
Yeah,
It
very
made
true.
me feel better about
Yeah,
drinking because I was like,
for
if I'm doing
sure.
it and they were all doing it, but if I was
Yeah,
out and a bunch of people were sober, then I would feel like I had to be sober. So,
yeah,
like, if you just worry about your own thing and not about everyone else, it becomes a lot
yeah,
easier. And like, you know, Getting s I'm not fully sober, I say this all the
right,
time, I'm not, like, completely dry, I will have a beer, I will have
yeah,
a ranch water or whatever, and
right.
it I don't plan to become fully dry, but I can tell you that I did not think I'd be able to give up wine. I did not
Okay,
think I really didn't I thought that was gonna be just as hard as, like, smoking, which was very hard to give up.
right.
Um, and it was the first week, and then it wasn't. And,
Wow,
there are, like, ways to do it, and I'm happy to, like,
right.
give tips and tricks that worked for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
But,
I'm sure that you'll be asked about that because I think,
yeah, I mean,
I
it
always
feels
want that to be
overwhelming.
open.
And
Yeah,
and, like, I would always look for an excuse, like, "Oh, are we going to a kid's birthday at 12? Are there gonna be drinks?"
yeah, right. I can
And
put some Baileys in that, and what can
yeah,
I
like,
do then to
we
make
gotta
it?
make sure we have alcohol at this kid's
Yeah,
birthday party, like,
right, right.
uh,
Yeah.
so I think it can be easier than you think it will be because
Oh, yeah.
it
Well, I'm just so proud of you because I know so many people that have tried, gone to rehab, and then they just go back to it.
yeah. I mean, I that one step at a time. Like,
Yeah,
for me, it was red wine is the worst. So, you know
yeah,
what? You don't have to give up everything.
right.
Because I know I was slower with white wine. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay, then I'll just have a couple of glasses of white wine," and I was slower, and
right.
then I was like, "Alright, I can give this up. Now let's slowly eliminate
Yeah,
the things that I really love and enjoy," and then
which I think is wise. I think sometimes people can do that where it's just boom, they take it out.
yeah,
And always my concern with that is that, gosh, my family and I have so many alcoholics in my family. And with my dad was the hardest because he became more violent as I grew older and the alcoholism became worse. Of course, looking back, he was a Vietnam vet. The stuff that he had to endure, see, do
yeah,
was, and then he had his foot almost blown up, so they send him to Japan, morphine, morphine, morphine. So then you come home, everybody hates you because you were in Vietnam.
yeah,
So, the reasons I think are there for, nobody decides, when they're little, I want to be an alcoholic. I know that for sure.
right,
I want to
yeah,
be a pilot, I want to do this, but I want to be a drunk as well.
yeah,
So, some things in our life happen. There are addicts throughout our family. I know that I really had to watch. I was watching so close when I'd have wine, like, okay, Do I want more? Can I stop? Do I still want it?
Yeah.
And I think that I wanted to have just an open place for people to share that, yeah, this is so hard. And yeah, what makes me feel good is, some tequila or a little bit of whiskey or wine, or those are the things that I feel are making it easier. And I don't have to report all the drugs that I'm taking when I go to the doctor. I don't have to
Right.
say I'm taking da 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 da. And so I think it's just something that is way more prevalent than is talked about.
You'd be surprised. I couldn't believe how many messages I got, and I do think a reason why it was so much easier to give it up is because I have my son. That's my
Mhm.
reason, like,
Yeah,
I don't know that I would've
yeah,
if I didn't have him because
very interesting.
I'm doing it so that I'm a good role model for him, so that,
Yeah,
like, when he's older, he's proud of his mom and not like, "Well,
yeah,
she's an alcoholic," and,
yeah,
I have no doubt that I have been a very fun mom this whole time. I have
yeah,
no doubt that, like, I still am, like, we're still
yeah,
playing video games together, we're still playing Lego, like, we still do
yeah.
everything
Well, to
together.
see you, you're just so fun with him.
I
Just
mean,
like you're
I
just
love my life with him, and I
yeah,
want him to know that that is who his mom was with
yeah.
or without a glass of wine.
Well, to
So,
encourage you and others, this last year is the first time that I saw my dad in 20 years.
wow.
And my prayer was always, when I first did that, he was very, very much in the prime of his alcoholism and very abusive. And it was very hard to do. My brother and I both made that decision. And my brother first, because me being the girl and the oldest, I was like, no, we can still help. We can still change it. Um, and honestly, when we did it the first, like we tried boundaries, all those things, and it didn't work. And I could say I really thought within a year, of course, losing your daughter and son, you'll definitely stop. And
Yeah,
it was year after year after year, and there was no stopping. And if anything, it got worse and worse. And every year I took time that I would just spend time alone praying and fasting just for my mom and dad and, please let him set that damn bottle down. And
yeah,
his was whiskey and, bad to the point where I knew how to make his whiskey and Coke when I was like 6. So, but
yeah,
what I can say is that Julie, it has been amazing. He kind of not exactly the same, but he was in the hospital and he really felt whoever he felt like God was really speaking to him, not, God coming down from the heaven and
yeah,
saying, here you go. But if you put that bottle down, you will see your daughter. And he put it down and months and months, a year later, we have a relationship. And it has been such a blessing to have my dad back, my daddy, and have him to hold me, hug me, and the same, being there for them. And it's been amazing, and so I
that's
just couldn't
awesome.
tell you how much that fills a void, and
Oh,
so those of you listeners that think it's too late or you've lost a relationship with your kids naturally love you forever and they want that relationship. So you just being vulnerable as an addict, it opens the door for so much healing. So,
and I think even, like, I don't think Jack has any, um, bad memories around me with alcohol. I'm grateful for that. Like,
yeah,
I think I have some memories that I'm like, "Oh, I wish that night
yeah,
didn't happen," or whatever, but, I don't I don't think he does, and I'm glad that I stopped it before he could.
yeah. So good because it is, as the oldest, I have my memories back, from a little girl. But the thing, Julie, is that he's going to remember that you stopped.
Yeah,
That's what he's going to remember. And I mean, I remember when my dad stopped smoking. I remember all the things.
yeah,
And so he's going to remember those things. And so, those of us who are really struggling and we've got kids and we're worried like you were, like, I can't continue this. How is he going to
yeah,
look at me? And I think it's important to reach out to the support groups that you feel safe in. Where
yeah.
would you say would be the places that you felt safe to reach out?
I know this sounds crazy, but I do find comfort in sharing what I'm feeling on social media, like,
Yeah,
whether it be on my Instagram and then the amount of support that I receive there,
yeah,
I find comforting.
yeah,
And as much as I put myself out there, it's hard to talk about some of this stuff with
right.
people that you're in everyday life with. Um,
Mhm.
and you know this, and we
Yeah.
both know this, like MSers, we can get on the phone. I just talked to Joe yesterday and I talked to Damien. Like I talked to everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we skip the pleasantries. We don't care
Right.
about, like,
Right.
what's the weather like? You and I, we didn't even talk about like
Yeah.
what the
No,
weather
we
is like. We
didn't.
just
No.
bust right into like, tell me
Right.
what's going on, real
Yeah.
life stuff.
I
Um,
do believe that the MSers more than any of, because I collect them like Pokemon cards.
yeah,
But other than I feel that there is a difference between the MS community. There is a real, which Damien, call me. I text
yeah,
me. We haven't talked. Um,
Damien.
Damien. So I do think there's a closeness that I've never seen in any other communities. There is a place where whether it's TikTok, which I would never have guessed, but whether there is that like, okay, what can I do? I know I'm far away, but I can still do things for you.
Yeah,
And I don't think I've seen that in any other community. Would you agree with that?
yeah, completely. And just know it,
Yeah.
like all of our symptoms are so different. Like each of us have different MS, different types of
Right.
MS, different symptoms, but we get it because like that, the mental burden of this disease is there.
Yes.
And like even you and I, we can walk around and hide it. Like people
Yes.
won't know by looking at us, hey, you have MS, but we're like,
Right.
okay, the bathrooms are up there to your left.
Right. Right.
How many steps? There's a seat over
Yeah.
there. Like we're constantly surveying.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think other MSers get that because we're
Yeah.
all doing the same thing in different ways, but
Yeah.
like it it's a very tight community and there's no strangers in our group. Even if we
Right.
can get introduced to a new, we have a support group. I have it with a couple of other MSers. Anyone that
Yes.
joins, they don't come on and feel like they're introducing themselves and just getting to
Right.
MS. They leave feeling like now I have lifelong friends and now we're
Exactly. That's so, so important. It's that, whatever support group, and it's okay to be in more than one. You need
yes.
support. So there are
Hey,
so many great ones that, I love it when I get, women in because the one that I do is just with women. And I love when they're like, well, I'm in this one and this is almost like asking permission. I'm like,
yeah.
go do what you need to
Go.
do
Do
right
as
now.
many as you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
And,
times
like,
where I
people
didn't want
need
to be
different
in one.
support. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I 100% agree. How has it affected your relationship with your husband, who I get to see
I
again too?
know.
I get to see
I
both of you.
know. I know.
Um, how has that affected you guys with slowing down with the alcohol?
I was not that I was worried. Yeah, I think I was a little worried because 'cause we've been, like, drinking buddies for the last
Yeah,
14 years, and we've always drank together. We always have, our dates, and,
right,
like, every night, we would have our I'd have my
right.
wine, he'd have his
Sure.
whiskey, it was just, like, routine. Um And like every night wasn't we weren't drunk. Like it was just
Right,
it's just not a good thing to do every single
right,
day.
right,
At some
right.
point your body's gonna be like, "This isn't a good
Yeah,
idea."
yeah,
Um, and at first I was worried about it, and then I noticed it didn't really impact, and like we were still laughing, we were still joking, we were still
right.
together all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Um, and so just 3 weeks ago he decided to cut down. So he
okay.
so which is
Yeah,
a big shift because he never gets drunk. Like, he drinks, but
yeah,
you would never know that he's had a drink.
right.
His personality doesn't
Yeah,
change. He doesn't slur his words, he doesn't have difficulty what like, all the things like, my MS symptoms get worse. So, I have had 2 glasses of wine, still sober, and fallen over, and then it's, like,
right,
in my head, now everyone thinks I was drunk.
right.
Now,
Yeah,
it like, or slur my words, or bite my mouth, or the million other things that I've done when I'm not even drunk, but it looks like I am.
yeah,
So I wanted to take away that excuse for people to be
yeah,
like, "Oh, she was drunk." Like, not that I've ever run into that, but mentally,
right.
I'd make up these
Yeah.
scenarios.
'Cause that
Um,
anxiety gets there, like, "Oh, they're gonna think this, and I'm not." And so, it's
yeah,
all those little things that play a part in it.
exactly. And so he decided on his own. I did not wanna pressure him. He knew, I always tell him, like, "It's the 3rd of the month. This is this month that I've given it up," or, like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
gave up August 3rd is the day. So I I always just tell him, and then the other day I was like, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock. You haven't," because we would
Yeah.
wait till 5, and he's like, "No,
Right.
I'm not gonna tonight." I was like, "Wow." And, we
That's
have a
awesome.
routine. Every night Jack has a shower, we play 2 chess
Yeah.
that we just, like, connect. It's just what
Yeah.
we do.
I
Um,
love that.
I love it too, and it's just such a good time to, like,
Yeah.
for me to be
So
home.
many families have gotten away from that, and it's like,
Yeah,
wait, go back to the table. Like at
I
least, a
know.
couple, especially when they get older, at least like spend two, because once they've got practices and you've got,
Yeah.
if there's three kids, you're like, okay, what day can be a dinner night that we're all together? So I remember
Right.
that being so tricky to do, but don't lose that. And even if it's like time, it's so important because they remember that. I mean, my daughter with the new baby, well, not new, she's a toddler now.
I know.
I know I'm like, don't grow anymore. But it's really neat to watch the things that you did with them and have them repeat it when they've got their little one. And it's like,
Oh, I can't
and
wait.
it's so cool. And she'll be like, well, Mom, I got that from you. And I'm like, oh, thank you. So
I
it
know.
feels good to know that the things that you're doing now, in a
Yeah.
good way, when you don't see, is there a return on this? Like you see it
Yeah,
later
yeah,
on,
yeah.
which is really cool.
Right.
So I love that. I love that your honesty about, because I think that's a fear that a lot of us have with our significant other is that, well, this was what we always did. And if I
Yeah.
don't do this, how is it gonna affect? Am I gonna be as fun? Is he gonna
Yeah.
wanna be around me or is he gonna wanna do something different because I'm not the drinking buddy anymore?
Right. I
I'm not
really
the
did
one
worry
doing it.
about it. I did. And it's crazy because it turns out I'm just as hilarious. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, but he's so much fun. Like, he's been very supportive. And I think it
Yeah,
was like an adjustment for sure because,
yeah.
even when we go to people's houses, like, I'm always bringing bottles of wine, and now
Right,
it's like,
right,
well, I will
right.
bring a bottle, but I'm not having it, like,
Right,
it's
right.
very
And I
different.
think that's awesome too, that you're doing that. And I think that is key too, because that I have been dating a little bit, and I love the fact that he's not a drinker, and that's just what he never has been.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look at me if I order a glass of wine like, "Whoa, like, can you do
Right.
that with your MS?" Like,
Yeah.
there's no judgment, it's
That's the
like
way it should be. And I think that's
right,
it. Like, if you are out there, anyone in the world, and you can have a couple of glasses of wine and feel completely like happy and cool, and
right.
I mean, people are normal drinkers. I
Yeah.
would say that my habits, not my whole life,
Mhm.
the last 5 years of caring for my mom, it
Yeah,
became too much.
yeah,
It's like I
yeah.
would not want my son to look back and like hear the recycling, like
Yeah.
the amount of
Right, right,
bottles
right.
that we're
Yeah.
going through. Like,
Very good.
I
Yeah, very
it
smart. Yeah.
and it's just not something I was proud of, so it was time to
Right.
stop,
I'm
and
well, just again, I'm so proud of you and I want to do more stuff with this. And I'd like to do a podcast together with some people who have felt like I'm abusing some things. And we can do
yeah,
that together.
I love it.
So like how I asked you while we're on.
I love it, I'm in. I'm like, I can name some people, but I'm not gonna do it while we're
No, it'd be
recording.
good. We'll do it. Yeah, don't do that. But you know how much I love you and I love that we were able to share today about, real again, it's just when we do stuff, whether it's you and Dawn, we did that one last year, time for me is all over.
I
But
know.
um it's just the reality and I think the strength in numbers when we are just authentic. So thank you so much. And I love you so much
I love
that
you
you were
so
willing to come on and talk about this stuff because it is so difficult. So I love
well, I
you.
love you. Thanks for having me, and I will see you
Absolutely.
in Detroit very soon.
Yeah. Woohoo. Okay, you hold on.
Okay.
Guys, don't forget to give us your feedback, and please subscribe because that's the most important thing. And a lot of people don't do that. And so that helps us a lot in our podcast. So I will see you next week with another edition of Move It or Lose It. Have a great day. Thank you again, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Move It or Lose It podcast. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed and left a review. Remember, you can find me on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. New episodes of the Move It or Lose It podcast air every other Wednesday. If you have any suggestions for future guests or topics, please visit my website at www.msdisrupted.com. Until next time.